In the arid hills of 13th century Spain, amid the harsh reality of the Reconquista, a singular devotion to the Holy Child of Atocha, a title given to the baby Jesus, emerged. This tradition, deeply rooted in popular piety, began to spread from the small village of Atocha near Madrid, full of stories of miracles and divine interventions. The historical context of the time was marked by the Muslim occupation of the Iberian Peninsula. During this period, many Christians faced severe persecution and oppression. Devotion to the baby Jesus, in various forms, became a solace for those living under such trials, especially in places like Atocha, where his image was venerated as a sign of hope and liberation. The title Saint Child of Atocha is associated with a popular account of Christian prisoners held by Muslim forces. These stories narrate how only children were allowed to visit those in prison, bringing them food and comfort. Among these children, a mysterious boy appeared, dressed as a pilgrim, who never seemed to run out of provisions. Depicted with a blue tunic, a wide-brimmed hat decorated with feathers, and a small gourd of water attached to his staff, the boy had a countenance that inspired tranquility. According to reports, he was recognized for distributing bread and water that miraculously did not run out, satisfying the prisoners' hunger and thirst. The Christian community began to perceive in this mysterious boy a manifestation of the baby Jesus himself. Soon, devotion to the Holy Child of Atocha took shape, with a chapel dedicated to him being built in the place where tradition claims he appeared. The small village of Atocha has become a pilgrimage center. At the heart of this devotion was the belief that the Holy Child of Atocha was a protector of the needy and the marginalized. Prisoners, poor people, and travelers turned to him, certain that he would answer their pleas. His image gained fame for accompanying pilgrims on their journeys and for performing miracles in situations of great need. The spread of this devotion was not limited to Spain. Over time, especially during the colonial era, veneration of the Holy Child of Atocha reached the New World. In Latin America, he was welcomed with enthusiasm and devotion, especially in Mexico, where he became a central figure in popular piety. In places like Fresnillo, in the Mexican state of Zacatecas, devotion to the Holy Child of Atocha has reached extraordinary proportions. There, a replica of the original image of Atocha was installed, and stories of miracles attributed to the Holy Child began to attract crowds of believers. A striking characteristic of the image of the Holy Child of Atocha is his serene expression and his humble bearing. The combination of his childlike appearance and his pilgrim attire symbolizes God's closeness to the small and humble, as well as his role as guide to those on the journey. The narratives of miracles attributed to the Holy Child of Atocha include cures, protections on dangerous journeys, and unexpected deliverances from difficult situations. These stories, passed down from generation to generation, cemented his reputation as a powerful and accessible intercessor. One of the most fascinating elements of devotion to the Holy Child of Atocha is its connection with the daily lives of the faithful. Many keep images of him in their homes, traveling with small replicas in cars or bags, trusting him for daily protection and to overcome personal challenges. The pilgrimage to the sanctuary in Fresnillo, known as the Sanctuary of the Holy Child of Atocha, is a vibrant expression of popular faith. Thousands of people visit the place annually, especially on festive occasions, bringing votive offerings and offerings in gratitude for graces received. During festive celebrations, the sanctuary transforms into a place of great spiritual fervor. Masses, processions, and traditional dances enrich the atmosphere, while the faithful express their gratitude for intercessions that they believe came directly from the Holy Child. The symbolism of the Holy Child of Atocha transcends mere religious tradition. He is seen as a model of generosity and care for others. His example inspires communities to live with charity, compassion, and trust in God. Veneration of the Holy Child of Atocha is also reflected in specific prayers and novenas, which highlight his divine humility and his willingness to help the afflicted. These practices feed the faith of believers, connecting them to the figure of Jesus Christ in their childhood. The popularity of the Holy Child of Atocha also found expression in sacred art. His images range from elaborate paintings to simple wooden sculptures, reflecting the love and devotion of different cultures around the world. The central message of the Holy Child of Atocha is trust in divine providence. It is a reminder that God cares for his children in all circumstances, especially in their times of greatest need. While the exact origins of the devotion may be shrouded in mystery, faith in the Holy Child of Atocha is a living testament to the way Christianity took deep root in the lives of the people, shaping their hopes and aspirations. Many stories from believers talk about moments when invoking the Holy Child of Atocha, they received immediate and unexpected help. Such reports further strengthened devotion and belief in his intercessory power. The simplicity of the Holy Child of Atocha, represented as a child who cares for those in need, reflects the essence of the gospel. He personifies Jesus' message about the importance of welcoming little ones and depending on divine providence. In times of crisis or extreme difficulties, such as during wars or natural disasters, the faithful turn to the Holy Child of Atocha, asking for his intervention. His image is often carried in processions to bless lands, families, and communities. In addition to his connection to prisoners, the Holy Child is widely venerated as the patron saint of travelers. Many people begin their journeys with a prayer to him, trusting that he will protect them and guide them along the way. The cultural impact of the Holy Child of Atocha is evident in many aspects of religious and popular life. Festivals, songs, and even plays illustrate their influence on local traditions and the strengthening of community faith. The mysteries surrounding his miraculous presence and the accounts of his goodness continue to fuel the religious imagination of millions of believers. It is a constant reminder of God's love expressed in simple and accessible ways. Thus, the Holy Child of Atocha remains a symbol of hope, generosity, and divine protection. His devotion, which transcends borders and cultures, continues to inspire believers to live with faith and seek the face of God in the midst of their daily struggles. As devotion to the Holy Child of Atocha spread throughout Spain and then the New World, it blended with local traditions. The faithful adapted celebrations and expressions of faith to their own culture, always maintaining the universal character of their message of hope and protection. In Mexico, especially in Zacatecas, the figure of the Holy Child of Atocha has become deeply rooted in popular religiosity. The faithful saw in him not only a heavenly intercessor, but also a close friend, accessible in all the needs of everyday life. One of the best-known stories in Mexico tells of a miracle that occurred with a group of miners trapped in a landslide. Desperate, the workers invoked the Holy Child and in an inexplicable way survived until they were rescued, fed and supported according to them by the child himself. These stories, often transmitted orally, gained strength in communities, strengthening the role of the Holy Child of Atocha as a protector in situations of risk and imminent danger. His fame as a savior in critical moments grew. At the sanctuary of Plateros in Fresnillo, the votive offerings that adorn the walls and corridors testify to the immense faith of the pilgrims. They are simple objects, such as small replicas of bodies, candles, and notes, which express gratitude for graces achieved and prayers answered. The pilgrimage to Fresnillo has become an annual tradition for many families. Some travel long distances on foot or by bicycle, while others go by car or bus, carrying with them not only their prayers, but also stories of faith that are passed down from generation to generation. Among the miracles attributed to the Holy Child of Atocha, there are reports of cures from incurable diseases, family reconciliations, and protection during dangerous journeys. Each story is considered a testimony to the divine love manifested through the baby Jesus. The image of the Holy Child in Fresnillo has unique characteristics. She is dressed in elaborate costumes, which are often exchanged by the faithful as a form of thanks. Their clothes vary in colors and styles, each carrying a special meaning for those who offer them. During the festivities in his honor, the Plateros sanctuary fills with life. Traditional dances, music, and prayers create an environment of deep devotion, where joy and gratitude meet in a collective celebration of faith. A central element of the celebrations is the procession with the image of the Holy Child, which is carried with great reverence by the faithful. This walk is seen as an expression of unity between heaven and earth, a visible demonstration of the community's living faith. At the heart of this devotion is the belief that the Holy Child of Atocha responds to requests with special attention to the most vulnerable. This reflects the gospel message that the kingdom of God belongs to the small and humble. The figure of the Holy Child also gained prominence in times of social and economic crisis. During periods of drought, armed conflicts, or epidemics, the faithful turned to him, asking for rain, peace, and healing. He was seen as a sign of hope in dark times. The simplicity of the Holy Child, symbolized by his childlike appearance, is a constant reminder that true greatness lies in humility and service to others. He embodies the presence of God, who makes himself small to be closer to his children. A common practice among devotees is to light candles in front of his image, symbolizing prayers and requests that rise to heaven. Each flame represents a story, a cry, or a thank you, creating an atmosphere of faith and trust. In addition to celebrations in the sanctuary, devotion to the Holy Child of Atocha also manifests itself in small domestic altars. Many families keep an image of him in their homes, where they pray daily, entrusting him with their protection and care. The image of the Holy Child of Atocha often appears in workplaces, especially in dangerous environments such as mines and mechanical workshops. Workers consider him a guardian against accidents and imminent dangers. Its presence in everyday life is reinforced by short, simple prayers that the faithful recite throughout the day. These prayers reflect trust in his intercession and the certainty that he is always close. The history of devotion to the Holy Child of Atocha also inspired writers, poets, and artists. Literary works and popular songs celebrate his kindness and the miracles he performed, perpetuating his memory in culture and art. In sacred art, the Holy Child is represented as a figure of serenity and compassion. The details of his pilgrim costume, such as the water gourd and the staff, carry symbolism of travel and divine providence. Among devotees, there is a feeling of deep intimacy with the Holy Child. He is seen not only as a powerful saint, but as a friend who walks alongside them in their daily struggles and challenges. During Christmas celebrations, the Holy Child of Atocha receives special attention. He is included in nativity scenes as a reminder of the mystery of the Incarnation and the love of God that manifests itself in the simplicity of a child. Many families have personal stories of miracles attributed to the Holy Child. These testimonies strengthen bonds between generations as parents and grandparents share their experiences with younger people, perpetuating the faith. Devotion to the Holy Child of Atocha continues to grow, finding new devotees in different parts of the world. Its appeal transcends cultures, offering a universal message of compassion and divine care. In Mexico and other Latin American countries, he is often invoked in times of danger or uncertainty, such as during travel or medical emergencies. Your intercession is considered a safe haven. As the centuries passed, the Holy Child of Atocha became more than a religious figure. It is a symbol of unshakable faith and the presence of God in the midst of human difficulties. His story inspires millions to trust in divine providence and persevere in their journeys. Throughout history, the Holy Child of Atocha has revealed himself as an inexhaustible source of hope for the marginalized and needy. His figure, so simple and accessible, personifies God's care for those who face seemingly insurmountable challenges. One of the most fascinating characteristics of devotion to the Holy Child is the way in which it transcends cultural and social barriers. He is venerated by both humble people and those in prominent positions, uniting everyone in the same faith. Among devotees, there is a deep sense of gratitude and commitment. Many promise to carry out good works in the name of the Holy Child of Atocha as a way of repaying the graces received, thus perpetuating the cycle of generosity inspired by his figure. Reports of miracles associated with the Holy Child continue to emerge in different times and contexts. Some stories tell of his direct intervention in serious accidents, while others describe miraculous cures that defy scientific explanations. In Mexico, children play a special role in the celebrations of the Holy Child. They often dress like little pilgrims, in imitation of their image, reminding adults of the purity and faith necessary to approach God. Devotion to the Holy Child of Atocha is also deeply linked to the Eucharist. He is often depicted holding a small loaf of bread, symbolizing not only the physical food he distributed, but also the bread of life, which is Christ. This connection with the Eucharist highlights the importance of recognizing Jesus present in the simplicity of the bread and wine, as well as in the figure of a child who cares about those in need. It is a call to worship and trust in the real presence of Christ. At the Fresnillo Sanctuary, visitors often bring their children to receive a special blessing before the image of the Holy Child. This practice reflects parents' desire for their children to grow up under their protection and care. The image of the Holy Child, with his calm expression and welcoming countenance, is an invitation to prayer. She seems to tell every devotee that no supplication is too small or insignificant to be heard. The popularity of the Holy Child of Atocha also gave rise to confraternities and associations dedicated to promoting his devotion. These groups organize events, novenas, and charitable works, perpetuating their message of care and service to others. One of the most striking aspects of their devotion is the simple but profound faith of the faithful. Many firmly believe that the Holy Child walks alongside them, listening to their concerns and helping them face life's challenges. In some places, it is tradition to leave small shoes near the image of the Holy Child as a sign of devotion. This practice, based on the belief that he walks to help those in need, is loaded with symbolism and faith. The practice of leaving offerings to the Holy Child varies according to local culture, but in all cases it reflects the gratitude of the faithful. Bread, flowers, and personal items are offered as gestures of love and recognition for their intercession. Devotion to the Holy Child of Atocha is also a form of evangelization. His figure, which combines tenderness and strength, attracts those who are far from the faith, inspiring them to seek a deeper relationship with God. In Latin America, especially in Mexico, the figure of the Holy Child is a symbol of identity and unity. It represents the constant presence of God in everyday life, even in the midst of the most severe difficulties. Stories of his miraculous intervention often mention his quickness in meeting the needs of devotees. This perception of closeness and readiness reinforces the trust of the faithful in their intercessory power. Many believers share experiences of dreaming about the Holy Child of Atocha before receiving grace. These reports, although personal, are considered signs of his living and active presence in the lives of those who invoke him. During processions, it is common to see entire families walking together in honor of the Holy Child. This collective participation reflects its role as a uniting link between community members and between generations. The simplicity of devotion to the Holy Child of Atocha is one of its greatest attractions. It does not require complicated practices, just a heart full of faith and a sincere desire to trust in divine providence. In the sanctuary of Fresnillo, the faithful find a space of peace and contemplation. There, in front of the image of the Holy Child, many experience moments of spiritual renewal and a feeling of closeness to God. The festivals dedicated to the Holy Child of Atocha are occasions of great joy and celebration. They not only reaffirm the faith of the faithful, but also strengthen community ties, creating an environment of solidarity and hope. For those who suffer, the image of the Holy Child offers consolation and encouragement. He remembers that God is present in all circumstances, caring for his children and guiding them beyond their trials. Many devotees believe that the Holy Child performs miracles even when requests are made silently, from the heart. This aspect reflects the intimacy of devotion and the belief that he understands each person's deepest needs. The figure of the Holy Child is also a reminder of the power of innocence and childlike faith. He invites the faithful to approach God with simplicity and confidence, like children who trust their parents completely. His devotion transcends time, continuing to inspire new generations of believers. The Holy Child of Atocha remains a beacon of light and hope, reminding everyone that God is always present, even in the most difficult times. The Holy Child of Atocha, over the centuries, has maintained its relevance not only as a traditional devotion, but as a continuous manifestation of God's presence among his people. He is seen as a friend and intercessor who walks alongside each believer, especially in moments of greatest trial. A striking feature is how his image adapts to the cultural context of each place where he is venerated. In indigenous communities in Latin America, for example, he's represented with typical elements of local culture, reinforcing his identification with the people and their traditions. At the Plateros Sanctuary, the experience of visiting the Holy Child is described by many as a transformative encounter. The lines of pilgrims, filled with prayers and gratitude, reflect the impact that this devotion has on people's spiritual lives. Among the graces most frequently attributed to the Holy Child are the healing of physical and spiritual illnesses. Many believers report finding relief from physical pain and overcoming emotional and family problems after invoking his intercession. The simplicity of her figure, like a pilgrim child, is a powerful reminder that God chooses the small and humble to carry out his great works. This message resonates deeply among the faithful, inspiring them to live with more faith and humility. The practice of creating small domestic altars with his image is a reflection of the closeness that devotees feel with the Holy Child. These altars, decorated with candles, flowers, and offerings, are places of prayer and encounter with God. The influence of the Holy Child of Atocha also extends to the world of literature and popular music. Songs composed in his honor are often sung during pilgrimages, reinforcing the sense of community and devotion. The Holy Child's connection with prisoners continues to be a significant aspect of his devotion. In many places, he is invoked by those who are incarcerated or by their families, asking for his intercession for liberation or spiritual consolation. Faith in the Holy Child is also deeply linked to trust in divine providence. He is often invoked by people facing financial difficulties or seeking work, believing that his intervention will open unexpected paths. During the annual celebrations, communities demonstrate their devotion with great enthusiasm. Festivities include processions, solemn masses, and traditional dances, all marked by deep spirituality and gratitude. Many believers consider the Holy Child an example of generosity. His image, carrying bread and water, symbolizes not only material provision, but also the call to share with those in need, a practical gospel lesson. Veneration of the Holy Child of Atocha also reflects the community dimension of faith. Pilgrims, by gathering at shrines and celebrations, strengthen bonds of solidarity and mutual support, creating a true communion of believers. There is a common belief that the Holy Child hears even unspoken prayers. This faith in his ability to understand the most intimate needs of the faithful is a testimony to the trust they place in his intercession. At the heart of devotion to the Holy Child is the message that God is always present, even in the most common and everyday situations. He is seen as a constant reminder that no one is alone in their struggles. Many devotees report that when praying before the image of the Holy Child, they experience an inexplicable inner peace. This feeling is often interpreted as a sign of God's comforting presence in their lives. The candles lit in his honor, especially in the Fresnillo sanctuary, are more than simple offerings. They represent the light of faith that remains alive even in the darkness of human difficulties. The miracles attributed to the Holy Child of Atocha continue to be recorded in our days. Testimonies of healings and deliverances are frequently documented, serving as living proof of their role in today's world. During processions, the image of the Holy Child is often accompanied by thousands of faithful who walk together in prayer. These manifestations of public faith are a powerful testimony to its importance in the spiritual life of the community. Devotion to the Holy Child is an invitation to full trust in God. He reminds us that as children of God, we are called to depend on him in all circumstances, just as a child fully trusts its parents. In rural areas, where life's challenges can be more intense, the figure of the Holy Child is a special consolation. He is invoked to protect crops, animals, and families, reaffirming faith in divine providence. In times of crisis, such as during pandemics or natural disasters, the Holy Child of Atocha is often invoked as a protector and intercessor. His image, carried in processions or placed on public altars, is a symbol of renewed hope. For pilgrims who visit the Fresnillo sanctuary, the experience is more than an act of devotion. It is an encounter with divine grace. Many leave there spiritually strengthened and renewed in their faith. The message of the Holy Child of Atocha continues to be relevant for the faithful today. He teaches us the importance of generosity, trust in God, and care for those most in need, virtues that never lose their relevance. Devotion to the Holy Child is a powerful example of how the Christian faith is incarnated in the lives of the people. It shows that God's love is not something distant, but a reality that touches every aspect of our existence. Thus, the Holy Child of Atocha remains as a beacon of light and hope, uniting the faithful around a simple but profound message. God is with us, caring for us as a loving Father, especially through his Son, who became small to lift us up.